All right, everybody. I want to give you a little bit of a stroll down amnesia lane for just a moment because way back in the 1990s, the early part of the 90s, a young Jason Salas was trying to become an athlete. And I remember we used to do this thing called carbo load, right? You would eat like a lot of pasta, a lot of breads, things that were rich in carbohydrates because we thought at the time it would actually give you like a lot of energy. And it did, but over time it's proven to actually maybe not be the best thing for you. So carbs right now are in a completely different light than when we thought. And that is what we're talking about today. So let's go out to the Boca Box. Downtown we go to Hagåtña, where Jess Rosario is standing by talking about ways to decrease your carbs. What's up, Jess?
Half a day. My name is Jess Rosario. I am the owner and nutrition professional from the Boca Box, and welcome back to the Hotspot on KUAM. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that, at least on Guam, we have a big issue with, right? Aside from overeating, aside from eating unhealthy, a lot of times we'll go to the doctor and we'll get seen, and one of the biggest issues that we have to deal with on Guam is diabetes. And one of the biggest issues with that is, of course, trying to control your blood sugar levels, right? So I wanted to talk to you guys about carbohydrates and the role that that plays in the foods that we eat, and how you can try and lower down your carbohydrate lower down your carbohydrate consumption to try and get you to abide by what the doctors are telling you to lower your blood sugar levels and change the foods that you're eating. Because it's very easy for someone to say change your food, but how do you change that, right? And that's why we're here. Now, when I was working at the hospital for GMH a while back, when I was going into college, or when I was in college as well, I was tasked with going into patients' rooms and talking to them about their medical conditions and ways I could help them to understand how food affects their body. One of the biggest issues that we had was trying to help people to control their carbohydrate consumption. Because if you think about it, carbohydrates is a readily available and convenient food product that is everywhere. We eat carbs every single day with every single meal, especially on Guam. Now, the average American eats about, I want to say 200 to 350 grams of carbs every day. Now that's following the recommended daily allowance for carbohydrates, which is about 45 to 65% of your daily caloric intake. So if you're eating a 2,000 calorie diet, 45 to 65% of that is coming from carbohydrates. That equates to about 250 to 350 grams of carbs. But what does that really look like? And is over-consuming that very easy? Well, let's just say we take breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we eat, and we're going to be very conservative and try to be healthy with this, right? We're going to eat 2 whole wheat pancakes with maple syrup. We're going to eat a banana for breakfast, and that's right here. Now, we're also going to eat a sandwich with maybe, I don't have any chips on it with me, but let's eat a whole wheat sandwich, 2 slices of bread. And we're only gonna count the bread as the carbs. And then for dinner, we're eating, let's say chicken or fish, but we're throwing in some brown rice. And I got about a cup of brown rice here with me right here. This whole meal for the day will run you around 250 grams of carbs. That's meeting the recommended daily allowance. But honestly, a lot of people will tend to go over this, because then we start getting into things like, okay, I'm going to eat, if you go out to eat, you're probably going to get 3 pancakes, maybe 4 pancakes with your meal. You're going to eat a sandwich plus maybe, or you're going to eat a sandwich or a burger, and you're going to eat potatoes or fried potato, french fries, or whatever with that. So it's going to be added carbs. And then you're also going to eat rice, whether it's brown rice or white rice, and you're going to eat that with another carb. Maybe it's vegetables or fruit, or you're going to have dessert, which packs on the amount of carbs to your daily intake. So it's very, very easy for people to overconsume and overeat carbohydrates. Now, the types of carbohydrates that we want to look at is things like this, right? We get our carbs from sources like, what is this? Oatmeal. Oatmeal, rice, breads, pastas, tortilla wraps, and desserts like cakes, biscuits, cookies, and so forth, right? Now, if we want to try and control the amount of carbohydrates that we're doing, there's two things we have to look at. The first is portioning or controlling the amount of portions that we eat to control or decrease our carbohydrate consumption. The second is trying to substitute our carbohydrates. And we'll talk to you guys about how to substitute carbohydrates and move away from that. Now, again, it's very hard to do that because it's readily available to us. There's bread, there's pastas everywhere. So how do we substitute that? Well, let's talk about changing the type of carbohydrates first. You know, we're always going to tell people that the healthier version of white rice is brown rice, right? It's the same amount of carbs. You're still gonna get per cup, you're still gonna get maybe 28 to 30 grams of carbs per cup of white rice. But if you change it to brown rice, you're still gonna get the same amount of carbs. The only difference is you're gonna get more nutrient value for that. You're gonna get fiber, you're gonna get vitamins and minerals. So always choosing the whole wheat version is going to be better when it comes to adding more nutrients into your body. But we're talking about carbs. So if we want to lessen the amount of carbs we're eating in brown rice, first thing we're gonna do is go half, right? That cuts it down from maybe 55 to 60 grams of carbs to about 25 grams of carbs. Just by cutting down your scoop from a 1 cup to a half cup, right? If we are doing, I mean, you're not gonna eat a sandwich with just one piece of bread. I mean, you can, but again, that would be a way to cut down your carbs. But if we're talking about substitutions, there's a lot of substitutions that are now low carb options. If you're eating tortillas, there are now low carb options you can find at the grocery store. If you're looking at cutting down your carbohydrates when you're eating sandwiches, because I'm a big sandwich person, I love sandwiches, I just don't like eating that many carbs. Then there's things like this, which is a keto-friendly bread, which cuts it down from maybe 25 grams of carbs to about 11 or 12 grams of carbs, right? So that's a good way to decrease your carbohydrate consumption. Another way, which we do at the Boca Box almost daily, is we look at other sources of carbohydrates. So instead of relying on brown rice, we'll substitute something for butternut squash or kombucha, which are, again, lower, very, very lower in carbohydrate, but also high in nutrient value, vitamins, minerals, fiber, which are going to also help your body break down the food slower. It's going to help control your blood sugar level so it doesn't spike when you eat fast digesting carbs like this. Another thing that we do is we substitute our wheat flour, whether it's whole wheat or white flour. We substitute that for things like almond flour, right? Almond flour that we have here, which is, let me see, yeah, almond flour, which is lower in carbohydrate, packed with fiber, packed with nutrients, also packed with good fat. We'll use this instead of relying solely on wheat flour or white flour, right? So it's taken a look at ways to decrease that and ways to substitute our foods so that we bring down our carbohydrate consumption. Again, I'm not saying that carbohydrates are bad, because they're not. Your body needs carbohydrates because it gives us energy and it helps regulate things in our body that we need on a daily basis. But I think that we overconsume carbohydrates on a daily basis, and that's why we need to find ways to decrease that. One of the good things about what we do at the Boca Box, again, is we look at sources of carbohydrates, looking at healthier, more nutrient-rich sources to put into your body. But also, if you are on a keto diet, and again, keto diet is good, it's good weight loss, but it doesn't work for everybody, right? So if you're not on a keto diet, then we have other plans for you. But if you're on a keto diet, we're looking at ways to decrease your carbohydrates even lower than 150. We're trying to go to like 30 grams a day or less. If you are still concerned about your carbohydrate intake, you want a free nutrition consult by myself or some of our nutrition professionals here at the Boca Box, come see us down in Agana. Until next week, we'll have another nutrition topic for you guys to stay healthy and figure out how to make your life a little bit healthy every single day. I'll see you guys next week on The Hot Spot.
All right, round of applause for our guy, Jess. He knows so much and everything, and he brings it to you every Wednesday right here on The Hot Spot. So please, take that information and really, put it to good use, because he knows what he's talking about, and he's doing this because he loves Guam and he wants to take care of each and every one of us. All right, from carbs, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we are talking about a new way where you can get vaccinated. Keep you and your family healthy starting tonight at a very familiar place. That's coming up.